Hi gang, it's Jonathan at the piano lesson. We're coming up on Hanukkah and Rachel had a request for some Hanukkah songs. Oh no. You know what that means? I am going to play a Hanukkah song, probably one that you don't know. And truthfully, one I didn't really know either, but I did know the composer. So the composer is Tom Lehrer. And for those of you who don't know Tom Lehrer was quite a prolific composer of pithy songs for many years. Quite a character, this guy Tom was. He was a mathematics professor and a political science professor as well. He was a graduate of Harvard in mathematics and taught at various universities, including Harvard and MIT. But he had a funny bone. Yes, even though he was working for the NSA and Los Alamos and whatever, I don't know. But so I'm gonna lay a tune on you guys, and then maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. Now, most of the recordings that you'll hear of this tune are very jaunty, upbeat tunes, but I kind of felt like this was meant to be played in much more of a bluesy manner. So I'm just gonna kind of jump in here and let's see what we come up with. All right. I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica, wearing sandals, lighting candles by the sea. I'm spending Shavuos in East St. Louis, a charming spot, but clearly not the one for me. Those eastern winters, I can't endure 'em. So every year I pack my gear and come out here to Purim. Rosh Hashanah I spend in Arizona, and Yom Kippur way down in Mississippi. But in December there's just one place for me. Amid the California flora, I'll be lighting my menorah like a baby in a cradle. I'll be playing with my dreidel. Here's to Judas Maccabeus. Boy, he should only see us spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica by the sea. Well, how do you like that? How do you like that? Hanukkah in Santa Monica. It's a real song. Look at that. It's a real song. I doubt it. Hey, another great thing about Tom Lehrer, all of his songs are copyright free. Isn't that wonderful? He just bequeathed all his songs to us to play. And there's so many of them, and especially a good song if you live in Santa Monica, I suppose. That way you don't have to travel. You're right there. You're right in Santa Monica. So, what makes this song so, well, should I say good, great? I don't know. It's a little hokey, isn't it? It's a bit hokey. It's in B flat, okay, and a lot of chromaticism in the song. It's just the key of B flat, F7, B flat, da 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 da, chromatic, C B B flat, la da da. Nice to hear that sound. You could even do when you have a chromatic note as a passing chord. You could play a diminished, possibly, or you could just go. You could play chromatic that way, or just the passing tones. Da, 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 da. I like to double the melody in both hands while I'm holding down a note. B diminished, passing chord. The C minor, 2/5. I've been Shavuos, C minor, 2/5. A lot of 2/5s. Da, 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 da. F7. Now, B flat, B diminished, B D F. That's the top part of the G7 chord. B diminished is basically the same chord as G7. I'll go over some of these. I'll kind of write them out, and we'll review that. F7, and then the bridge, a little bridge. Those eastern winters. Now they write B flat in the song, B flat 7. B flat 7, for you, those of you about secondary dominance, right? Secondary dominance. The dominant chord in the key of B flat is F7, but we're modulating to a new key, to E flat. We always modulate typically using the dominant of whatever the new key is. B flat is the 5 of E flat. Now, whenever you have a dominant chord, you can also use the 2 chord, right, of that key. Instead of going 5, you can go 2/5. So F minor 7, I kind of like that. Goes F minor 7, da, da, B flat, F minor 7. Now the way I voice the F minor 7 though, I go F, A flat, C, E flat, and then on the top, G, B flat. It's an 11 chord. It's kind of, and I'll go over that again. I'll write some of this stuff out, but it's a da, 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 then E flat, da, 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 and of course you can spice it up even more, but it's a Christmas song, so you don't want to go berserk, right? Then C7, da, 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 2 chord dominant. You can have 2 chords that are dominant as well. F13. That's not written there, but diminished. G diminished, F7, maybe, you know. B flat, Shona. I spend in Arizona, 6 chord, right? And Yom Kippur, way. Now, this is interesting. That's the 2 chord. You have the second inversion, C7, down in. Now, this is E flat minor with G flat in the bass. Down in Mississippi, yeah. So what does that mean? Well, you have this nice descending bass line that he writes in there, which is pretty cool. So da, 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 da. E flat minor. Okay, I think what he really means is E flat minor 6, actually, with G flat in the bass. Then F7 with E flat in the bass. B flat with D in the bass. You're going back to the B flat chord. There's lots of B flat chords in the piece. If you keep playing B flat in the bass, it gets a little bit dull. But if you play the same chord in an inversion, it has a little bit more interest to it, and it also maintains the tension. If you play B flat, it almost sounds like the song's over too early, right? So he does, I'll just play that again. Way down in Mississippi, December, there's just a, then he has D minor, plays for me, 2/5 of, so 2/5, that's D minor 7, G7, 2-5 of 2, right? G is the 5 chord in the key of C minor, but typically where the basic chord is the 6th chord, G7. This is the passing chord. Amid the California flora I'll be. Now, I changed that a bit. He has E flat here. I have E flat in first inversion. Why? Because there's a common tone there, and I like that idea. A place for me. Amid the California flora I'll be. Light in my menorah. G7 with D in the bass. A lot of inversions. Don't have to do that. You could just play G7. C minor, C sharp diminished. Then he has here, he has E diminished, but C sharp diminished 7 is the same as E diminished 7. It's just an inversion of the same thing. So that's one of those areas of writing sheet music where you got to be a little mindful. That I put in there. That's not written. That's call it A diminished if you want, but it's a passing chord. And then 1-6-4, B flat with F in the bass, Judas Maccabeus, boy, F, G7, C minor, Hanukkah in Santa Monica. Now he has two interesting chords here, A flat 7, sharp 11, by the D is the sharp 11, and then he goes to F7 by the, with A in the bass. So he has this ascending bass over here. By the C, and the ending you could make up. I like doing a diminished chromatic. So E diminished, E minor, B flat first inversion with D in the bass, D flat diminished, C minor, B flat major 7, and then something B flatty. Okay, so that's kind of the theory behind the tune, right? So some basic theory concepts here that we're gonna just kind of review here. So what are the basic theory concepts? Well, if you want to play this tune, like a lot of tunes, you want to know the key of B flat. Okay, so right, key of B flat is two flats, right? It's B flat and E flat. Okay, right. And you want to know your 1, 6, 2, 5. All right. So in this instance, the 6th chord is majorish, dominant 7, G7. B flat, right? Could be B flat 6, whatever, but B flat, C minor, F7. Sometimes he uses a flatted 9th to give it some color, but that's okay too. Let's switch our little cameras here, okay? And typically this chord, this is not right. This is not diatonic, right? Because the diatonic chord would be what? The diatonic chord in the key of B flat is actually G minor. There's no, here's G7, right? There's no, B natural is not in the key of B flat, but it's okay. I mean, the 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, but that is clearly not, right? Not diatonic. It would be diatonic is G minor 7. That's diatonic. And sometimes he uses C7 instead of the minor. So again, he uses the dominant 2. And then the other thing to watch for is the secondary dominant we discussed. So secondary dominant. In this case, it happens to be 2, 5 of 4. 2, 5 of 4. What is 4? 4 in the key of B flat, 4 is E flat. So 2, F minor 7, B flat 7, right? And then E flat major, E flat major 7. That's the 4. And this is the substitute chord. That's our substitute chord. This is the 2 chord in the key of the key of E flat. Okay, so that's important to know, and that you want to be able to play your B flat chord in inversions, so you can do all that stuff. B flat in first inversion, and then what I was going to do. He has G flat. It's this chord. It's this chord, E flat minor 6. It's really that. That's a pretty nice sound there. Again, keep in mind that all this stuff, all the sheet music is, you just Google it and it'll come up and you'll find it. You don't, and there's all kinds of incredible tunes in that manner. Let me just look at this music one more time here. What do we got here? Well, the diminished chords, of course, C sharp diminished, right? That sounds C sharp, E, G, B flat, which he also names as E flat diminished, E flat, G, B flat, D flat, same chord. You want to kind of be able to play all those. Usually, though, let's get this sheet music back up here. Usually, you hear it on the original recording. You hear it. Right. I like that too, but I think the bluesier version is a little more interesting. It's a little more interesting. Isn't that fun? That's fun. That's a jazzy Christmas. Okay. Now, truth be told, I've been very busy this holiday season, so I would like to know what's on your mind, because I just talk and make stuff up, and I never know what you guys want to learn particularly. So let me know, because I will address anything that you'd like to learn. Oh, by the way, very important. I'm going to keep harping on this over and over again, but real essential that no matter what tune you're playing, no matter what key you're in, right? What do we always got to make sure that's at our fingertips? We got to make sure that we have our diatonic triads. Okay, right, so in the key of B flat, D, F, B flat major, C minor, 3, D minor, 4, E flat major, 5, F major, 6, G minor, 7, A diminished, and back to B flat. I'm just using the same fingers going up. You can use different fingers if you want, just to make it easy. I mean, it's possible to try to connect the notes, you know, possibly 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, so that you're playing, and perhaps that would be okay. Major 7 chords, 1 B flat major 7, 2 C minor 7, 3 D minor 7, 4 E flat major 7, 5 F7, 6 G minor 7, 7 A minor 7, flat 5, and we're back to the major 7 all the way down. Okay, so you really want to know those, and also taking each chord. These are block chords. You can play broken chords all the way up and down, and also each chord, B flat major 7, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion, root position, and back all the way down. 2 chord inversions. You see what I'm doing, guys? 3 chord D minor 7, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion, and back down. You want to be able to have all of that at your fingertips, okay? And of course, you want to have 2, 5, 1, 2, 2, 5, 1. Very typical for a song to go to the subdominant, to the 4 chord, okay? And you want to know also your 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5. That's our kind of heart and soul. Now I played, that's the 6th chord. I played G major or G7, right? But you could also, that's not diatonic, you play G minor. Or C7. Right. As long as the root moves like that, okay? The other chords, can be a bit flexible. That's fine as well. And some of our voicings, right? The basic voicings, they're kind of built into this tune. This voicing here, that's a typical 13 voicing built on the third of the chord. Root, 13, third, 13, 7th, 9th, right? And then this voicing, right? That has the 13 on top. That D in the melody, that's the 9th. So those voicings, when you're practicing your 2, 5, 1 root position, second inversion, root position, that's the basic. But this is the better way to practice. Or I call this open position, or this. That's E. Sometimes I start doing these and I forget what I'm doing. The diminished sounds, right? The inversions, right? But also the diminished scale is as a review for the diminished scale, okay? Let me take this down for a second. Well, quick review for our tetrachord fans out there. Our tetrachords. Okay, so again, our thinking of a scale in groups of 4 notes, right? So a major scale. You have a whole, half, right? That's the first tetrachord, and then the second tetrachord, whole, half. So in B flat, whole step, half step, right? So there's 3 steps within the 4 notes: B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, right? Those are the steps in between those notes. And then over here, we're not really counting that, but that is a whole step as well. But that's a major scale, right? If you want to create a diminished scale, you could write B flat, C, D flat, E flat, and then go up a half step, E, F sharp, yeah, G, A, right? So those tetrachords are a little bit different. These are minor tetrachords, but they're separated by a half step here, okay? Right? Those are a little bit different. Notice the only difference between the major and minor tetrachord, right, are the notes in the middle, right? The outer notes, again, those are our perfect fourths. That's the constant. That's our constant, right? Major, minor, right? And then the two other tetrachords, what are they? Phrygian, right? Half step, whole, and then the harmonic, half, augmented second, half. But the two outer notes, that perfect fourths, that's exactly the same. So if you're diminished, you want to play a nice diminished run. You can play a minor tetrachord on each of the chord notes. C sharp minor tetrachord, E minor tetrachord, G minor tetrachord, B flat minor tetrachord, and you're back to the... Interesting, huh? Let's just look at that from above for a second. Here's your C sharp diminished, C sharp minor, E minor, G minor, B flat minor, and back to the C sharp. That's all together. Now, what am I doing? This is a minor tetrachord, that's a minor tetrachord, but what did I do in between, building on that scale degree? That's a diminished fourth. This is a diminished fourth. C sharp, E, F sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G. Those you want to practice separately as well. What are we doing here? Yeah. And then, yeah. It almost looks like a major third, but it's not. It's actually, it looks like a major third. Right? It's kind of built on those notes, but it's one step up, kind of. Oh, so much to know. So much to do. Okay, I got to run. We're out of time, but thanks for hanging out. This is Jonathan Eder, and you guys have a great holiday season coming up this week on Hanukkah, and then we're going to have our Christmas. And I saw a guy selling Christmas trees, and I went up to him and asked if he had any Hanukkah bushes, and he looked very sheepish and said, "No, do you have any?" And I said, "No." And he says, "What's a Hanukkah bush? Is that real?" And I said, "No, not really. No. It's just something that's kind of an urban myth to make Jewish kids feel better about Christmas." Okay, guys, catch you later, and drop me a line. Bye-bye.